Gentlemen, you know, I'm really tired of the clankers. I'm really tired of the clankers. They are terrible. Can't stand clankers. Try to generate a thumbnail, and the clanker wants to argue with you. You try to drive down the road, and the clankers want to record everything you do. We're gonna get into that, but before we do, I want to talk about Erica Kirk. I don't know why I was about to say. I was thinking Eric Church. Erica Kirk wants cameras in the courtroom with her husband's murderer. Now, if you're new to this whole being on Earth in 2025 thing, um, a little under 2 months ago, Charlie Kirk was murdered while speaking at a Turning Point USA event. His wife now is going to be at the trial for his murderer, and she wants cameras there. They do not want the trial on camera. She says, no, my husband's murder was on camera. This should be on camera. I agree with her. And then we're going to talk about these, I think we should call them clanker cams, that have been popping up, and they track, trace, and database everything you do. They can tell if your car has certain modifications. They can tell your license plate. They can tell what kind of car you're driving just by, like, I mean, obviously they get your license plate information, but if they don't get your plate information, they can tell just by, like, the shape of your car what kind of car you're driving. Super rad. But first, let's talk about the news. We'll get into that in just a second here. Before we do, I want to remind you that it's a daily show. I haven't been promoting myself lately. I feel kind of beggy, and I don't like to promote myself. It's a daily show. It's here on Rumble. It's over on YouTube. It's all at sgarrettmedia. We got an Instagram that I don't know how to use. We got X that I get very angry every time Gavin Newsom posts anything. At one point, I was trying to start a fight with Gavin Newsom. At one point, I just wanted him to reply so badly, but he didn't. So I finally gave up on that one. But yeah, so daily show, Monday through Friday, Sunday evenings through Thursday evenings. So you get it Monday through Friday, but it's live early. I mean, this is Sunday morning because I want to do stuff this evening. So you get what you get. Trying to balance two jobs here, so do what you want. But yeah, let's get into it. So here we have from the Independent. Erika Church rejects idea of banning cameras in trial of her husband's alleged assassin. Let everyone see what true evil is. 100%. I 100% agree with her on this one. Erika Kirk says the public deserves to see what true evil is, rejecting defense efforts to block cameras from the trial of the man accused of killing her husband, conservative activist Charlie Kirk. There were cameras all over my husband when he was murdered, Kirk told Fox News' Jesse Waters in a clip posted on X. There have been cameras all over my friends and family mourning. There have been cameras all over me, analyzing my every movement, analyzing my every smile, my every tear. We deserve to have cameras in there. Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is. This is something that could impact a generation and generations to come. I don't think she's wrong there. I'm going to be honest. I think that if we don't set a precedent now, if you commit a political assassination, at the very least, we're going to drag you through the mud. You're going to be on every front page. You're going to be documented, everything you did, and we're going to. I think we should put him to death immediately. Like sentencing should be done, and the bailiff should just walk up and fucking put one in the back of his head. I think that's how it should work. But that's just me. Just putting it out there, I guess. The whole camera thing, though. Oh, also, there's this picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. I saw this picture, like. this one here, where they're hugging, and like, here's a little bit more. Like JD's got his hand like on her hip, and then they hug, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is inappropriate. Oh, it's inappropriate." The fuck, you know, like, you have anything better to do? Why are you complaining about the vice president hugging a friend? Like, what the fuck? Why are you like this? Do better. It leads me to to our next topic, on the cameras. I mean, they're everywhere now. Everything's on camera. Everything we do is documented. And in this case, I think yes, it's a good thing to document this the, the the evils of the person that murdered Charlie Kirk. I think it's a good thing to document that. There's certain times where I'm like, okay, not everything needs to be on camera, not everything needs to be documented. And that leads me to our next story. Here we have from the Colorado Sun. After police used flock cameras to accuse a Denver woman of theft, she had to prove her own innocence. Now, what are flock cameras? We'll come back to this. Nope, wrong one. Here it is. From UNC School of Law. Under surveillance, constitutional concerns surrounding flock cameras. Reads, how would you feel if every time you left your house, cameras were tracking every detail of your vehicle and exactly where you're going? This is a reality in many communities nationwide as flock safety cameras continue to gain popularity among police departments and private business owners. These cameras are touted for reducing crime and aiding police departments in unsolved cases. However, there are questions surrounding the constitutionality of new technology. Flock Safety was founded in 2017 by 3 Georgia Tech alumni and has since become one of the fastest growing companies in Atlanta. Their cameras can now be found in 4,000 cities across 42 different states. This includes North Carolina communities like Raleigh, where the police department installed 25 cameras in 2023. Within only 6 months of installation, the cameras assisted police officers in making 41 arrests. Oof. Oof. So they put these cameras in, and then they arrest 41 people with these cameras. I wonder if anybody not involved in the arrests was surveilled unjustly. I wonder if anybody not involved in these arrests was watched for days, weeks on end, and didn't even know it. I wonder how many people had their rights violated and didn't even know it. Well, it leads to, from 404 Media, we have lawsuit argues warrantless use of flock surveillance cameras is unconstitutional. Read, a civil liberties organization has filed a federal lawsuit in Virginia arguing that widespread surveillance enabled by Flock, a company that sells networks of automated license plate readers, is unconstitutional under the Fourth Amendment. The city of Norfolk, Virginia has installed a network of cameras that make it functionally impossible for people to drive anywhere without having their movements tracked, photographed, and stored in an AI-assisted database that enables the warrantless surveillance of their every move. The civil rights lawsuit seeks to end this derangent? I've never seen that word before. Seeks to end this derangent surveillance program. In Norfolk, no one can escape the government's 172 unblinking eyes. It continues, referring to the 172 flock cameras currently in operation in Norfolk. Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures and has been ruled in many cases to protect against warrantless government surveillance, and the lawsuit specifically says Norfolk's installation violates that. Yes, of course it does. You can't just install a camera somewhere designed for fighting crime and then sit there and say, well, it only watches the bad guys. How does it only watch the bad guys? It watches everybody. Of course it watches everybody. There's no option other than to watch everybody? How do you find the bad guy if you're not watching everybody? There's an argument to be made here that this is unconstitutional. This should be illegal. These cameras, I drive past these cameras on my way to work every day. These cameras can tell you what days I've worked and what days I didn't. These cameras can tell you how long I worked. These cameras can tell you everything about my day. They can tell you what time I got to work. They can tell you what time I got off work. If you factor from the camera to my job is 8 minutes, just for argument's sake. We'll just call it 10, just to make the math easier. If I drive past that camera at 7 o'clock, you know that I was at work by 7:10. If I drive past that camera going the other way at 3 o'clock, you know I left work at 2:50. You know I worked 7 hours and 50 minutes that day. That is a gross violation of my rights. Who are you to document when I go to work? Now, obviously, they don't know where I work specifically. The cameras don't. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had a way to find out. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's public record. You can just find where somebody works. I don't think that's, unheard of. I drive past these cameras every day. I drive past them in cities. I drive past them. And the one city I drive through, it's not even a city. It's a little slowdown town. It's a mile. The city is a mile long. There's 2 gas stations and 2 red lights, and then you're out of the city. It's maybe 2 miles. It's not very long at all. And there's a camera going into town and a camera coming out of town. Between those 2 cameras, you can tell a lot about my daily routine. You can tell if I had a late start at work. You can tell if I was running behind. You can tell all kinds of stuff about my day based on those cameras. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And I've been thinking about it for a while. What's the point of these cameras? Why do we have these cameras? Well, it's quite obvious. They want to track, trace, and database everything you do. They want to be able to, at any point, pull up their camera and say, well, on this date, you came into town. It's a 35-mile-an-hour town. You rolled into town at 50. You're going to work with us, or are we going to write you that ticket? We're going to apply the points to your license because you were speeding? You're going 15 over? That's a citation and points on your license. I mean, there's so many instances where this can be used, especially with a corrupt government. This could be used against the people so easily. So here we have another. This is from the city of Henderson, Kentucky. We have another example here. Expansion of flock cameras. The expansion of flock cameras was a project created in 2023 by Public Safety Committee. The project was voted on by residents as the #1 idea from the 2023 Inner City Improvement Plan. Flock cameras are license plate recognition cameras. No, they're not. That are used to enhance community security and assist law enforcement. Cameras have the ability to focus in on a license plate and recognize the numbers and letters. This proves to be helpful when law enforcement is searching for stolen vehicles, wanted offenders, missing people, during Amber Alerts, and so much more. The cameras provide real-time information when a vehicle of interest is in the area. Providing this information in a timely manner to law enforcement is a proven way to stop crime. Currently, 7 flock cameras have been ordered and are being installed by Henderson Police Department throughout the inner city. So what they're saying is, hey, this is a good thing because if there's a missing child and we have the license plate number, when they roll through here, we'll get alerted. Yeah, that's great. That's great. What about when it's, I don't know, a conservative commentator? We'll just say, for example, we'll say Steven Crowder. We'll say that Steven Crowder has spoken out against the mayor of Henderson. I don't know. It's hypothetical here. Steven Crowder's spoken out against the mayor of Henderson because he did something shady. So the mayor of Henderson says, hey, if Steven Crowder ever comes into town, let's hassle Steven Crowder. The mayor of Henderson is able to access DMV records, or has an officer that's willing to do it for him, finds Steven Crowder's license plate number, and puts it into the system. They then pull Steven Crowder over for no reason. They hassle Steven Crowder. So now it's used against you. Now it's weaponized against you, because of course it is. It's the objective here all the time. Say you have a sticker on your back window. Say, I don't know, just say for argument's sake, you have a SIG sticker on your back window. It's a SIG Sauer on your back window. And say the mayor of Henderson is very anti-gun. I don't know if this is true. Let me just hypothetical here. We'll just say hypothetically, the mayor of Henderson is super anti-gun. You drive through Henderson every day to get to work. Your SIG sticker gets flagged and you get pulled over and hassled. Maybe you don't even have a gun on you, but you get pulled over and you get searched. That's not legal. That's unlawful search and seizure. That right there is unlawful search and seizure. You're getting searched because you have a sticker on your car and the camera flagged it. That's not even close to legal. So let's go back to our original story from the Colorado Sun. Instead of these hypotheticals, let's use a real life, for real, this happened case. After police used flock cameras to accuse a Denver woman of theft, she had to prove her own innocence. It's another issue in this country. You're guilty until proven innocent. When a Columbine Valley police officer showed up at Christina Elser's home in Denver, he was certain. Oh, wait, that's not Christina. That's Chrisanna. Chrisanna Elser's home. Wait, did that say woman? Oh, okay. When a Columbine Valley police officer showed up at Chrisanna Elser's home in Denver, he was certain he had caught a thief. Sergeant Jamie Milliman knocked on the door, summons in hand, and accused Elser of stealing a package from the doorstep in the neighboring town of Balmar, only 50 feet south. The proof, according to Milliman, footage from flock surveillance cameras showing Elser's Forest Green Rivian driving through the town from 11:52 a.m. to 12:09 p.m. on the day of the theft. You know, we have cameras in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, said Milliman to Elser, according to Ring doorbell footage of the September 27th encounter viewed by the Colorado Sun. That's a terrifying statement. You can't get a breath of fresh air in that town without us knowing. That's ridiculous. That is insanely unconstitutional. You should not be being documented breathing. Anyway, let's continue. Just as an example, you've driven there about 20 times in the last month, he added. Along with the flock footage, the sergeant told Elser he also had a video from the theft victim that allegedly showed Elser ringing the doorbell before grabbing a package and running away. I guess this is a shock to you, but I'm telling you, this is a lock. 100%, no doubt, Milliman said. But Elser, a financial advisor, told the sergeant she had no idea what he was talking about. She asked several times to watch the video that Milliman insisted proved her guilt, but he refused to show her. And when Elser offered up footage from her Rivian's onboard cameras to prove her innocence, Milliman said she could bring it to court. See, I've seen this multiple times where cops will say, I have video of you doing this thing, and people will say, hey, I didn't do that thing. I have video that proves that I didn't do that thing. Let's compare our video, and the cops will say, tell it to the judge, buddy. I've seen multiple times where, especially guys that ride crotch rockets, you get this a lot. Cops will say, hey, you were speeding. Guy on the crotch rocket will say, no, I wasn't speeding. Cops will say, I have you on camera speeding. Guy on the crotch rocket will say, no, I wasn't speeding. I've got a camera on my helmet that can show you that I was not speeding. The cop will argue with them for a little bit, and then eventually the cop will usually drop it because they don't have a case, because they know they're full of shit, or they got the wrong guy because this guy's insistent. No, I have a camera that shows that I was not breaking a crime. Now let's watch. Let's watch the interaction. And I bet you this is a very similar interaction to that. I'm telling you, everyone, all these back the blue people, you're a fool. They will come put the boot on your neck. They will do it. And this is proof right here. So it says more than one person can drive the same car, and that's something that I want to point out. We also have police officers that refuse to do their job, and they sit on like overpasses and shoot. They shoot radar from their car and send out mail tickets. They're completely illegal in the state of Ohio. It's been ruled time and time again that they're illegal in the state of Ohio, and they're not enforceable. So we get them all the time, and we just throw them away. There's one cop that just sits in someone's driveway, just blatantly sits in someone's driveway behind a row of trees and just shoots people as they go past and sends mail tickets that are completely illegal because more than one person can drive a car. You can't give me a ticket if you can't prove that I was driving. This is another issue with these cameras everywhere. It's getting ridiculous. So you said no, you work from home, so you're not allowed to drive into the next town over. You're not allowed to drive through the next town over if you work from home. What the fuck? This is another example, A, of cops taking things too far, and B, of we're using clankers for law enforcement now. Why are we using AI for law enforcement? The truck drove in at 11:52 and left at 11:55, and then then came back at 12:06 to 12:08. You'd have saw this if you pull all your camera. That's an option. I can't confirm or deny that, but if the truck drove in and left between 11:52 and 11:55, the truck drove through town. The truck wasn't in town. See, this is guilty until proven innocent. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. All this happened because of a clanker. Because we allow clankers in law enforcement now. This kills me. He's sitting there saying, "You've not been honest with me. This woman's been nothing but cooperative. You put clankers in law enforcement. You let AI enforce the law, and then you send a guy who says, 'Well, the robot told me you did it, so you did it, lady. Shut the hell up and go to jail because the robot said you did it.'" So this lady clearly doesn't know where he's talking about. Around noon, she was at home. Instead of the officer being like, "Yeah, this might be a big mix-up. Cameras aren't 100% reliable. Let's see what happens." Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So this woman has to deal with legal costs and all the bullshit that goes along with going to court. She has to deal with the costs of court, the costs of an attorney. She has to deal with all this over a robot saying she committed a crime that she did not commit. We have these cameras in probably in every major city at this point. We have people being wrongly accused of crimes. What happens when they wrongly accuse you of a crime for their own reasons? What happens when they wrongly accuse you of a crime because they can? What happens when we watched Joe Biden's DOJ go after Donald Trump? We watched the Biden DOJ try to imprison the frontrunner of the Republican Party. What happens when those cameras start getting used in that kind of application, in a political application? What happens then? That's a situation, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Let's get the clankers out of law enforcement. Okay? I'm getting real tired of clankers. Clankers aren't people. Let's stop treating AI like a person. AI doesn't have rights, but AI can take your rights away. That doesn't seem right to me. We can use an AI system that shows someone doing something that they didn't do, and there's no repercussions. Just sometimes these things are not infallible. They can have issues. They can make mistakes, but you're not gonna address the fact that this woman was just hassled for 8 minutes on her front porch by a police officer standing there insisting that she committed a crime that she didn't. And I'm sure that if she would have argued harder, he would have arrested her for disorderly conduct, or he would have taken her in for something. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. We should not have robots enforcing the law. We should not have cameras tracking your every movement, and then they track the wrong person and falsely accuse someone of doing something they didn't do. It's absurd. It is an absurd reality to live in, where we let robots make decisions like this. Robots should not be deciding who goes to jail. That is insanity. That is cuckoo bananas. It's fucking apeshit nuts is what it is. Why are we doing this? It's not logical. It is not a logical thing to do. I'm going to let a robot say, oh, well, this car was in this town and a package went missing, so it had to have been this car. That's nuts. That is nuts. I don't know. We need to get these, we need to have these cameras removed, because they're going to be more problem than anything else. They're going to be a giant issue. It's going to get worse over time. It's going to get worse. These things never get better. They always go one direction, and that direction is worse. Anyway, that's all I got for you, so I'll leave it there. I hope you agree with me in that we should not be allowing clankers, at least in law enforcement. Let's start there. No clankers in law enforcement. But, if you agree, let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know if you agree. If not, let me know why you disagree. But, I'm kind of at a point where AI is going too far. If AI is allowed to accuse people of crimes, AI has gone too far. That's all